Alright, I'm gonna try not to waste too much of your time here and just simply answer the question posed in the title. No, this is not the Destiny killer. It's not gonna take playing the full game to answer that question, trust me, for one simple reason. This is a cover-based third-person shooter. That will never replace a proper, satisfying first-person shooter experience. It's just not the same. Third-person shooters have never compared on the gunplay front. They just haven't. They make up for it in other ways, but if you're playing Destiny, you know you're playing it for the guns. You know, the superpowers are nice, they're fun. Using your ultimate is also pretty cool, but for the most part, you're playing it for the guns. So, no, this is something much more akin to The Division, or maybe to an even lesser extent, Anthem, right? But probably more like The Division. I didn't really waste my time playing those games because, frankly, I don't really like third-person shooters unless they've got something really cool going for them. And I knew Anthem was going to be shit, so I just never tried. So if you're still interested in this game after that little bit, we can go over the good and the bad of this demo and see if there's any real reason to check out the full release in a few weeks. So I'll start with the good, because I'm a fairly negative person, so those of you who won't make it halfway through this video at least can see the good things about it and come to your own conclusion. Alright, the main good thing is the superpowers. I mean, this is the reason you should be checking out this game, is just for the powers, right? Basically, you get to be one of these 4 elemental characters. I didn't want to waste too much time. I just finished the demo, and I am actually going to play the full release, so I didn't bother checking out all 4 classes. I just played as the Rock Elemental. So if you want to see like what the Fire Dude does, or Lightning, or whatever, go watch another video. I wanted to be the tank, because I just like the idea of absorbing copious amounts of bullets and shotgunning people in the face. So that's what I did. So yeah, but the superpowers that you get to use just for the demo, out of the 4 abilities that I used, 3 of them were really fun, and 1 was just okay. That's a pretty solid margin of fun, I would say, right? The most fun, of course, was the one that let me literally, like, fly across the battlefield. That's great, because cover-based shooting is so fucking boring and trite, and just feels very poorly designed. I mean, you can pre-aim for people's heads while hiding behind cover. Who thought that was a good idea? Seriously? I mean, this... You know, you can blame Gears of War for this. I know Gears of War has its own fan base. I've never really been a fan. Tried a decent amount of it. Was like, wow, this is... really feels generic. And yeah. You know, tips to any devs out there. I know I'm a nobody and you shouldn't listen to me. But just in case you do want to listen to me, don't make a cover-based third-person shooter. If you make a third-person shooter... do not make it revolve around taking cover. Period. Just don't do it. It's bad. So of course the best ability is the one that lets you completely ignore the cover mechanic by flying across the arena and just smashing your opponents into bloody paste. Then of course we got one where you can cover yourself in rock and absorb twice as much damage, which that's, you know, that's decently fun. You don't move as fast, but yeah, I mean, it makes you feel powerful. I would like a more powerful version of that ability. I hope you can, like, upgrade it in the final release or something like that. I noticed some of the gear that you get, at least your clothes, can upgrade your character abilities, so that's cool. And the other ability I really liked was one that let you absorb and reflect bullets. Yeah, that's another great one, you know? Run around with 2 tank abilities. I could take some serious punishment. And yeah, of course, reflecting all those bullets back at your enemies, that's fun. Other than that, I'll say the story was a bit of a step up from a lot of these other looter shooters, but you're not playing a looter shooter for the story. So is that really, like, a good upgrade? I don't know. Is it? And your main character talking, that is a step up from a silent protagonist, but at the same time, it makes you feel like you're playing a character instead of playing your character. It didn't help that the customization options were pretty limited, but maybe they're more plentiful in the full release. I doubt it, to be honest, because with these games, it's always about what armor you wear, not really your character's face. Yeah, I don't know. He's just kind of like your generic gravelly dude. I mean, he made a few jokes, but again, if you're cracking jokes, you're a character. You're not a player-created character. You might as well have given the Outrider a name at that point. I actually felt slightly invested towards some of your other character buddies, so that's a step up from Destiny, I'll say that. Because Destiny's only claim to fame with story is the lore, and Destiny has what I would call lore abuse, which is pretty common in most modern games, where they have to simulate a sense of depth. So they hire a writer to write all the little books and stuff in the game, like Elder Scrolls, you know? The problem is there's no consequences for this in the game itself, right? They make all these cool teases, and very few of them pay off nearly as well as the lore builds them up to be, because often the main writers for the game don't even know what the lore is. You know, it's just fluff, right? Which is the complete opposite of Dark Souls. I know I bring up Dark Souls like every 3 or 4 videos, and I'm sure some of you are annoyed by now, but Dark Souls is how you do lore correctly. Same with, you know, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, right? Is that the lore you read is actually in the game. You encounter the characters from the lore in the game, and often you kill them. So that's a good lore. I did not read any of the Outriders lore because I didn't really care, especially since the story is kind of shoved down your throat anyway. I mean, sure, you can skip the cutscenes, but yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of cutscenes. But at least the story concept is interesting. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's humans versus humans, when humans are almost extinct. It's like, you'd think we would get our shit together at some point. Like, literally, there's probably, 100,000 people left alive in this universe, and we're still killing each other. Maybe that's realistic, but it's depressing. But at least it looks like there's gonna be aliens, at least from the teasers and stuff. I mean, you're on an alien planet, there should be aliens, and not just the animal kind. But yeah, I think that's about it for the positives, really. So let's get into the negatives. Yeah, so first major negative, it's a cover-based shooter. Those are boring. I hate them. I just don't like them at all. The most fun I had playing this game was trying to make it the least amount of a third-person shooter possible. The problem is, that's also what got me killed. I was trying to like spam my superpowers like this is Infamous, and of course get as close and in my opponent's face as possible, because the rock elemental heals when he kills people in close quarters combat. The problem is, bosses are fucking bullet sponges like every other looter shooter ever made. So when you get in their face with an automatic shotgun, you unload, 20 fucking shotgun shots into their face, and they laugh at you and then kill you, because this is a cover-based shooter. So no matter how much of a tank I wasn't tank enough. So even though I kinda liked the boss fights movesets, I think they were fairly creative and diverse in the demo. The fact that you're forced to hide behind cover most of the time ruins that a little bit. Even if they try their best to flush you out of cover, you just need to find more cover. And enemy AI is also nothing special. Enemies will push up and flank you, they'll toss grenades if you hide behind cover too long, there's snipers, and that's about it. It's really nothing special, you've seen it before. This is the type of game that really probably doesn't need good AI, it just needs you to smash the AI into bloody pulps as efficiently as possible. I mean, the same really went for Destiny. I mean, none of the AI in Destiny was particularly good, and every boss fight forced you to fight it a very specific way, especially raid bosses where it literally was a puzzle. So don't expect good AI from a game like this, that's just not a priority. And then, I guess the other major downside is the loot. I just don't really care for looter shooters all that much unless a lot of the loot is particularly interesting. And this is going to sound like a nitpick, but I fucking hate the generic rarity system that is in every fucking game now. You know, like, okay, white is the worst, green is slightly better, blue's better than that, purple's better than that, orange is the best. I mean, that's every fucking game. It just fucking changed the colors, dude. Really? Like, this is... It's a small but very blatant symbol of the copycat nature of AAA, you know? People can't even have, like, a slightly original idea. Everything is based on market research. Fucking just... I hate it. I fucking hate it. And it's not really fair to judge the loot based on a demo, because everybody who's played a looter shooter for any significant amount of time knows that it only matters in the end game, right? And so we can't access the end game, so I have no real opinion on whether or not the loot's actually good. But just the fact that you're probably going to have to push upwards of 35 hours, according to the end of the demo, to get to the end game, well, I just hope that the loot gets better, you know? At the very end of the demo, I got 2 clothing items that significantly improved some of my character abilities, and so that was good. But none of the guns felt good to use at all. They felt very generic, because again, it's a third-person shooter. You can't really feel gun recoil properly. Like, it doesn't feel good. And you can't really see how cool your guns look either from that distance, typically. I'm sure you can see how cool your character looks, but your character doesn't look cool this early in the game. He looks like a fucking hobo. So, again, it's not really a criticism of the whole game, just one of the demo, I suppose. Another thing that I didn't like, and yes, I'm well aware this was just the first level, is that what little gameplay that we're given is very linear. And I realize it's supposed to sort of simulate a World War I trench warfare type of thing, but outside of the tutorial, you actually aren't fighting in trenches. There's still waist-high walls that you take cover behind everywhere. It seems like a missed opportunity to not at least make it thematic and the trenches be your cover. Also, it feels lazy as well. But again, it's just the first level. Who knows if we'll even return to it after the story. So, I guess it's still time to have more open level design. But yeah, let's hope they somehow find a way to make shooting more interesting than this. Because, yeah, superpowers was the only thing that held my interest, really. And maybe to some degree the story, but you're going to get to the end of the story and that's going to be it. Now, the fact that this is being made by Square Enix gives me maybe a little hope that at least this game will have $60 worth of content at launch, but Square Enix is not a great publisher anymore. They haven't been for a long time. And I don't really know how many of their development studios even have that much talent at them anymore. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So, should you pre-order this game? No, because you shouldn't pre-order any game. That's a pretty obvious answer there. And should you be interested in this game at least? Maybe. If you like third-person shooters and you like looter shooters, yeah, I mean, wait for the review that I'm going to do on this, because I am going to subject myself to, you know, this. Hopefully, it actually does some good for my channel, but who knows at this point. But I'll cover it regardless if anybody watches it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can say on the demo for now. So we'll just have to see if this game turns out to be the next big looter shooter. I kind of doubt it, to be honest, but let's hope I'm proven wrong. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Just wanted to put this out pretty quickly because I tried out the demo, you know, wanted to give my opinion, and hopefully this gets some views, blah blah blah. And all the other shit I'm doing is taking forever, so at least now, this makes sure at least one video releases this week. I'm definitely going to have to, like, blitz through The Witcher, I think, from this point on, because I've wasted too much time playing RuneScape. But I am going to start working on that RuneScape video, because I've decided I'm just going to cover free-to-play, because membership would literally take, like, probably at least 100 hours to make a proper video on it. So I'm just gonna do a free-to-play video, and then possibly in a month or two do a membership video. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for now. I'll see you next time, guys.